Okay. Hey, what's up? It's Privacy J here. Now, today, it's time for the new video. So in this video, so we're gonna talk about about my new MacBook Pro update. As we mentioned so far, now I'm gonna tell you something real quick. So this is gonna be the quick video, by the way. Now it's not a long video. So as I'm saying before, like I mentioned back then on the previous video, we showed you about the M3 Max MacBook Pro. About this, it has a space gray, it has a 1080p, and and also this MacBook Pro has to go. The old one because I'm still using because this is like old, but yeah, and including because it has a 720p, the FaceTime HD camera because this camera looks bad, but but I'm still looking forward for the 1080p FaceTime HD camera, the FaceTime HD camera on it. So we're about to move on to it. So a new laptop coming soon, as I mentioned. So if you missed this video about what I did in this previous video and the update as well, so click the link in description down below. So if we don't want to miss it. So number one is today. So the new MacBook Pro update coming soon, which is the M series, like M1, M2, and M3. Anyways, let's go to today's topics. So what we're talking about the 2017 MacBook Pro models with Touch Bar. So even though I still have it with the vintage products list. So please read.
Apple today added 2017 models of the 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Pro with the Touch Bar to its vintage products list worldwide.
Next paragraph.
Apple classifies the device as vintage 5 years after it was last distributed for sale. Vintage products are no longer guaranteed to be eligible for repairs at Apple stores and Apple-authorized service providers, with service subject to parts availability. Apple also added the mid-2015 model of the 15-inch MacBook Pro without the Touch Bar to the vintage products list. This model remains sold until 2018. The upcoming macOS Sonoma update is compatible with 2018 and newer MacBook Pro models. Apple first introduced the Touch Bar in 2016. Nowadays, the 13-inch MacBook Pro is the only model that remains available with the Touch Bar. Apple reverted to physical function keys with the 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pro in 2021.
Next topic. Another 2017 MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, now considered vintage, won't get macOS 14. So that's what I got for my 18th birthday back then. So you may read now.
Last year, Apple added the very first MacBook Pro with Touch Bar to its list of vintage products that may no longer have parts available for repair. Now, a year later, the 2017 MacBook Pro with Touch Bar has also been deemed vintage, news that comes after the company confirmed that this model won't get macOS 14.
Next paragraph.
2017 MacBook Pro is now a vintage product according to Apple. A product is considered vintage 5 years after the end of its distribution for sales. As a result, Apple no longer guarantees that it will have parts available for repair at Apple stores and authorized service providers, AASP. And the 2017 MacBook Pro with Touch Bar is now part of that list, via MacRumors. The 2017 MacBook Pro is the second generation of Apple's laptop with the Touch Bar, which was introduced with the 2016 models. These MacBook Pro models also became notorious due to issues with the butterfly keyboard, which led Apple to later acknowledge the malfunction and announce a recall for faulty keyboards.
Next paragraph.
While the 2017 models with Touch Bar are now considered vintage, the 2017 version with no Touch Bar and only two Thunderbolt ports still has an extra year before it makes the list. That's because Apple didn't update the entry-level version of the MacBook Pro in 2018 and kept the 2017 model in stores for another year. Even so, none of the MacBooks introduced in 2017 will support Mac OS Sonoma, which was announced at WWDC 2023 in June and is expected to be released to the public this fall. These laptops will only get security patches from now on, and this should last for the next 2 years.
Excuse the ads. Next paragraph.
Skip to main content, go to the 9 to 5 Mac homepage, switch site, toggle social menu, toggle dark mode, toggle search form, exclusive store podcasts, Vision iPhone, Mac, watch iPad music and TV guides, MacBook Pro vintage Apple 2007.
No. Take a pause, will ya? Try again.
Currently, the only MacBook to have a touch bar is the 13-inch version with the M2 chip. From vintage to obsolete, Apple has a second category for discontinued products, obsolete products, while vintage products.
Wait, you have to pay attention, okay? So, please read again.
While the 2017 models with Touch Bar are now considered vintage, the 2017 version with no Touch Bar and only two Thunderbolt ports still has an extra year before it makes the list. That's because Apple didn't update the entry-level version of the MacBook Pro in 2018 and kept the 2017 model in stores for another year. Even so, none of the MacBooks introduced in 2017 will support Mac OS Sonoma, which was announced at WWDC 2023 in June and is expected to be released to the public this fall. These laptops will only get security patches from now on, and this should last for the next 2 years.
Okay. Next.
Currently, the only MacBook to have a Touch Bar is the 13-inch version with the M2 chip. From vintage to obsolete, Apple has a second category for discontinued products, obsolete products. While vintage products may or may not have parts available for repair, those considered obsolete are ineligible for any type of repair at Apple stores or service providers. A product enters the obsolete list 7 years after the end of its distribution for sales. The only exception to this rule is the MacBook battery. Apple says that customers can get a battery repair for up to 10 years after the laptop has been discontinued.
Okay. Moving on. The Intel Macs. So, please read.
Apple no longer sells Intel Macs, and that could mean the end of Mac OS updates soon. After a very long wait, Apple finally announced a new version of the Mac Pro powered by the M2 Ultra chip. As a result, the transition to Apple Silicon is now complete, and the company no longer sells any Intel Macs. For users, this could mean that it won't take long before Mac OS drops support for Intel Macs. From PowerPC to Intel first, let's revisit the past. This is not the first time that Macs have transitioned from one architecture to another. In 2005, Apple announced that it would switch from PowerPC processors to Intel. At the time, Intel had much faster and more efficient processors than PowerPC, which allowed Apple to create more modern computers, such as the first MacBook Air. Apple said the transition would begin in June 2006 and be finished by the end of 2007. The first Intel Mac was announced in January 2006. However, the transition to Intel was fully completed in August 2006 when the company replaced the Power Mac with the first Intel Mac Pro.
So which means the thing is that my thoughts and opinion right now is I do not like this MacBook Pro with Intel because it's slow, and it's like not really slow, but it's outdated, and it looks like it's like this camera's like awful, and it's 720p, and because I really do not like it. But I may have to upgrade soon, but let's not worry about that. So let's move on. Next paragraph.
The following year, Apple released macOS 10 Leopard, the last version of the operating system to support PowerPC Macs. In 2009, macOS 10 Snow Leopard officially dropped support for these Macs, becoming the first version to require Intel processors. In short, Apple kept supporting PowerPC Macs for 3 years after introducing the first Intel Mac. Apple Silicon Macs. As the years went by, Apple once again felt the need to have more powerful and efficient processors for its computers. This time, the company was already working on its own chips for the iPhone and iPad. In June 2020, Apple confirmed that it was changing the architecture of the Mac, now from Intel to ARM chips, which are called Apple Silicon. The first Apple Silicon Macs were introduced in November 2020 with the M1 chip, and Apple said the transition would be completed by 2022. However, completing the revamped Mac lineup took a little longer than expected, and that's because of the Mac Pro.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. Okay. So, anyways, that's gonna be just a quick video for today about my new MacBook Pro update. So, well, keep in mind for that and keep watching for more updates. So, yeah, in the next 2 weeks, on number 2, we'll continue where we left off about this, the next MacBook Pro updates on this topic. So keep in mind for that and keep me notified and informed. So like and comment and subscribe and let me know all about it. So if you're gonna subscribe for more content, it's a Privacy J Productions and a Privacy J Productions 2. All of my social medias will let you know all about it. Facebook, my name is Jaden Garcia, and Instagram is JTech727, and Snapchat is Scoots0727, and follow me on X. It's Privacy J NYC1. So thanks for watching, and peace out, and have a great night.